Hello, let's see how we can have the KDE's Kate, KDE Advanced Text Editor, use the language server protocol server for the Python programming language, and also the DAP, debug adapter protocol server for Python programming language. I have a Git repository that is mainly written in Python. It's called KDE Builder. It's open in Kate. Let's see how we open it. In this terminal, we're in that directory where we git cloned the KDE Builder Git repository. We're opening Kate with the current directory as parameter. In the tool window projects, so not in the tool window documents, but in the tool window projects, we can see that the currently open Git repository and project is KDE-builder. The entry point is this executable file KDE-builder without any extension, which is a Python script. Let's see first the language server protocol, which will provide features inside the text editor. Let's see first this tool window output, where it says something about the Python language server protocol, Python LSP. Says that there's no PyLSP executable in the path, and the path environment variable contains my home directories tilde/.local/bin and then /usr/local/usr/bin. So in one of these directories, there should be this executable PyLSP. Let's see how we do that. Let's navigate to this website first. If I searched on Google for Python language server protocol, there's different implementations. One of these is the Python-language-server, but we're not after about this. We're trying to use the language server protocol that's pre-defined in the Kate text editor. So this one, Python LSP on github.com. This one. Let's see how we can install. So we can install using pip. This is Python-language-server, and this is Python-LSP-server. We'll expose the executable PyLSP in the path environment variable. Let's see how we install this on my operating system, which is Linux Ubuntu 24.10. It says that on my Linux operating system, which is from the Debian and Ubuntu family of Linux operating systems, there should be a DAP package which provides this. So Python 3 minus PyLSP. See if that's the case. Okay. Opt file search, and the executable is called PyLSP. And this is what we're after, /usr/bin/PyLSP. The name of the deb package is correct. Python 3 PyLSP. We install the DAP package from the official package repositories from Ubuntu 24.10. It installs Jedi. Okay, and now it says that PyLSP should be available on my path environment variable. So let's see that. Which PyLSP? Should be here. Let's eventually restart Kate. And now it just says what's my path environment variable and doesn't give the warning that or let me open a Python file first. Okay. So now Kate asks a question via this model message box where it says, do you want to start the language server protocol for Python? Command line pylsp -check -parent -process. There's a configuration page for the plugin. Let's go yes. We can see in the output that the process with the command line that was shown before is running. Okay, so I don't know exactly what the list of features is, but I don't remember having seen this combo box. Maybe this is part of the feature. So this is showing the structure of the current file. There's a sub algorithm, a function, free function, and then inside this free function there's another one embedded, which you can see. Level name. What is level name? I'm not sure what exactly it's showing here. Okay, let's see other possible features. Let's see if we can have go to definition. So import KB exception. Goes to the class KB exception that's exported from this module KB -exception. There's docstrings, or if I hover on top of the symbol, let's see if the docstring is correct. A class to wrap exception string and ends with stringified. Okay, signature, a string and another string, two strings. Showing the signature of the constructor. Ignoring this self first parameter. Okay, so go to navigation works. In here, there seems to be communication using the JSON file format. Non-type and int. Not sure what this is. Maybe it's receiving a JSON and fails to parse it. Hopefully the language server protocol is not affected and only the part inside Kate that parses the LSP communication, the communication with the external LSP language server protocol process daemon is affected. And it's a log level warning, it's not an error. So hopefully the LSP integration in Kate continues working correctly. Okay. Application, docstrings, examples, constructor. Just one constructor. Let's try to edit a bit this thing. So auto completion, tab, metadata module, tab equals control space for the auto completion combo box. The auto completion combo box cannot be resized. Control space, so similar to Visual Studio. The width of the combo box is the maximum width of its items, of the items that have been shown thus far. It's not ordered alphabetically. But now it is. So it is ordered alphabetically. Okay, let's see none. Control X, Control S. Okay, so auto completion in its various forms. So when you give it 0 text to complete using control space, if you give it a bit of text, it's going to show the auto completion combo box itself automatically. You can select options with the tab key, with enter. Okay, what else could an LSP be useful? So go to navigation, auto completion, doc strings. This should be it. Let's now see if we also can get support for a debugger inside the Python, inside Kate. At the very start, the entry point KDE builder file. Let's put a breakpoint. There's no such thing. So let's see if the debugger is a additional plugin. Settings, configure Kate, plugins, debugger. So the LSP client probably needs to be enabled, and probably also the project plugin if you want to have what I've shown until now, which is support for LSP, Language Server Protocol for Python in Kate. Now we're going one step further, which is the debugger experience for Python programming language in the KDE Kate text editor, using another protocol that's similar to the LSP protocol, which is called DAP, Debug Adapter Protocol, still from Microsoft, still created originally for Microsoft Visual Studio Code integrated development environment. Probably this is the plugin. So there's a plugin that supports both DAP and the GNU debugger at the same time. And it's this one. Okay. So KDE Builder. Let's see how we can use this plugin. Settings. Debug PI. We'll need debug PI, and we want to launch. So probably this guy. Let me see what additional settings are required here. Asks for the executable and arguments. Okay. And start debugging. So it says that it wants to find the executable named Python, which probably does not exist on my system. Nope. So I want the executable for Python should be Python 3. And then it wants to have installed the module debug py. Let's see how we can install this. So first of all, we want to actually edit this part and replace Python with Python 3. I have searched on Google for the Python debugger adapter protocol, and the results seem to converge in towards this GitHub repository, github.com/microsoft/debugpy. Also the PIP package is named debugpy, and from the same GitHub project by Microsoft. Let's see if this has a package for my Linux operating system, or how should I install it. I'm using the apt file command, which shows me which can answer the question, is any of the DAP packages available in any of the remote repositories from Ubuntu 24.10? Does any of these DAP packages contain an executable file with a name or full path containing debug py? And it finds the place that you would expect, which is Python 3 minus debug py. Okay, so now we should have this part, but we're still missing an executable named Python in the path environment variable. We are probably going to fix this by placing a symlink into my home directory. So let's look at that. We could use this directory tilde/.local/bin. So we want to create a symlink here, which is ln-s symbolic, and there's two parameters here. One is the thing that already exists, and then there's the name of the symlink. So ln-s, the thing that already exists, usr bin python 3, and the thing that I want to have, which is tilde/local/bin/python without a 3. So KDE, there's this Python executable and points to /usr/bin/python 3. Okay, let's see if we can start the the debugger. I don't see how we could do that, so just let's restart it. The settings remained in here. Let's try to put a breakpoint here. So right click, there's no possibility of putting a breakpoint by using the context menu. Okay. Toggle breakpoint break button in the main toolbar. It doesn't show any, I don't know, any button in here within the line numbers to show that here is a breakpoint, but it changes the background color of the line where the breakpoint is. And start. Ctrl-Shift-F7, start debugging. Okay, let's see what it did. So it's started the process with command line python -m debug py listen 45447 wait for client, and then the Python file, that's the entry point. The Kate support for LSP is talking to the port for TCP port 45447 on localhost. Telemetry is probably a Microsoft thing. These are probably the server protocol features. Says line 19 where a breakpoint has been set, which is correct. It's running. We're at line 19. We stopped at a breakpoint. Just one thread exists. And this is probably, I don't know, the call stack. Okay, let's go step over, step over. And let's see this one. So we're on line 48. Let's step into this function, find missing modules, step in. And we're at the correct place. Free function, find missing modules. Returns a list of string. Step over. A second function inside of this function. What do we need to? We can't step in because it's just a function definition. Okay. Step over. Required modules, it's a hard-coded list. If validate mode, and now it's going to step inside on line 31. So step in, it calls validate mode. I don't see the doc strings. Now they appeared. So what I'm looking at is if support for LSP continues working even while we're inside of the debugger using DAP protocol. And it seems to be working okay. Okay, so we're at line 31. Not really easy to see where the debugger is posted at which line. There's a bit of gray background on line 40 and on line 31. Step in, F10, step over F9, step out, Shift F10. I'm not sure where the shortcuts come from. They're not familiar to me. So step in, step over, step in, import lib, import module. Let's see if we can go there. No, we can't, because why not? It has the setting just my code with the default value, which is true. So even though I have the source code of the method, the free function import module, because its first-party source code is part of the Python standard library, it's not written by me, or it's not part of the KDE builder Git repository. It refused to step into and wrote to standard output Y. So in launch.json, I can go just my code, :false. But I don't know where this launch.json is. Okay, let's continue. Step over. If validate mode, then continue. Step over. And it's returning missing modules. Let's see how we can find out the value that's stored in this missing modules thing. So missing modules is an empty list array. We can see doc strings from LSP, but from DAP we want to know the value that's stored in here. Debug. print. So DAP has, from what I see, GDB style command line. So it has a REPL, read, evaluate, print loop, has a prompt string, which is parentheses DAP and parentheses and then equals. The command line that I have run is print space and then the name of an identifier. And I can see on the next line the output. So maybe additional commands from the GDB command line language can be executed in this entry. And we also have history. Print like this. Says syntax error, so it's probably not the print from Python, it's the print from DAP or GDB. So import lib is a module, but it's probably no longer imported. Let's see text wrap. Okay, and now because it's imported, it discovered that it's a module and it says the entry point file of the text wrap module. Let's see what other things can be, command lines can be entered in this REPL. We have seen the DAP command print. Now there's the next one, which is next, which is step over. Let's see a list of all of the possible commands. Debug adapter protocol. Where's the official web page? So there is a debug console for interactive evaluation with autocomplete read, evaluate, print loop. After the session has started, we can send commands like this, or via JSON. There's a thing called the next request. We can see says command and next. So next we know that it's a DAP REPL command. Here is the specification on just one HTML page. So probably we want to search for this thing, command and then colon. Let's go from the start, Control F, V. So there's a cancel command. I'm not sure when you would use this. Run in terminal. Start debugging, initialize, configuration done, launch. So these are prior to actually being inside a debug session. Restarts the debug session. Let's see this thing. Okay, so the third command is restart. Let's see how this works. Command not found. supports restart request is true, depending on this capability. Maybe the language server protocol does not implement this feature. Okay, so restart does not work for this DAP implementation. Disconnect, terminate, breakpoint locations. What is that? No such thing. Set breakpoints. Continue. Okay, so continue, what will it do? Will it run until the next breakpoint? So let's place a breakpoint somewhere at line 66. And run continue. And it stopped on line 66. Okay. Next, we know it works. Step in, let's see this one. Syntax error, step in. So maybe the commands that are not all lowercase do not work. So I needed to lowercase the command step in. Okay, what the one that lists breakpoints? Let's see if we're indeed stepped in. So it says line 66, stop post. So we were on line 66 and now we're still on line 66. Now we advance to line 67. I can't prove that step in actually works. It does not. Okay, so no step in for us. It seems that some servers implementing the DAP protocol can advance backwards inside of the debugger with a step back. If the DAP server advertises the capability supports step back through. So this seems to be it. Just 4 commands that I could prove work. So modules lists the modules which are currently loaded. No, I'm not sure exactly what this thing lists because many modules are imported. It says just module 0 and then main. Continue is similar to this button. Run to the next breakpoint or until the debugged process finishes. Next is step over, and print can evaluate almost any identifier that's inside the scope. Okay, let's look at the rest of the features of the Kate plugin for DAP, debug adapter protocol, but also front end for GNU debugger. Let's put a breakpoint at line 81. Let's not put a breakpoint at this line. So the debugger is now on line 68. And I'm putting the mouse cursor on line 84. and I press the button Run to Cursor, which can be invoked either from the main toolbar or from the Debug Output tool window. There's this button, or from the Kate main menu, Debug, and then Run to Cursor, Shift F9. And it does. If you want to evaluate and see the value that's inside of arcs, for instance, there's this possibility inside the Kate main menu, debug, and then print value. And we can also see that it's actually running inside the REPL a command, the command that we would expect, which is print, and then the name of the current selection with the mouse. Debug print value. Okay, so that's about the features. You can toggle breakpoints. You can step in, out, and over. Run to cursor. Run to the next breakpoint or to exit with this button, continue, continue, or continue. You can stop the debugging with this button or this button. You can start the debugging with this button in the Kate main menu debug, start debugging, or the button that will be available in the debug output tool window. But there's decent amounts of functionality. Sometimes you don't have very advanced integrated development environments because, I don't know, maybe you're on an operating system that doesn't support, for instance, Visual Studio Code, but maybe there's in there a full Python available and Kate, the KDE text editor, operating systems such as NetBSD, OpenBSD, etc., or maybe a different architecture than AMD64 where Visual Studio Code does not yet work. Maybe, I don't know, RISC-V or something. And in those cases, you want a graphical user interface text editor with some features for debugging and editing Python source code. And in these cases, Kate might be your best bet. Or if you usually use Kate, then if you use it for Python development using the LSP language server protocol and DAP debug adapter protocol that are implemented inside Kate as plugins, just enable those plugins and you get additional functionality with minimal additional steps that you need to go through. Thank you.